Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, in this video, we're just going to talk about what happens now in the John George case. John George, Hardy, Georgie to his friends. The funeral took place at the weekend, and now, what happens now? So the quest now, of course, is for justice for John. So I'm going to light a candle for him and for his family, of course. I think it'd be very difficult. It's been a very difficult time from day one. But I think now the funeral's over. Any of us have ever lost anybody, that after the funeral, before the funeral, everything's a mad scramble to get everything organized. And, you almost, everything feels surreal. And then after the funeral, it's like a real sort of hit, isn't it? That this is real. This has really happened. And this is where this family are now. And what they're going to be wanting now is justice for John. So they want to see whoever did this to John to be behind bars, of course, and to be held to account for what they did. Now, I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures photos from after the funeral. And honest to God, I defy, if you're not moved by these photos, whatever you think of the whole situation, some people don't seem to think that because John went the wrong way in life, nobody's got a right to be upset about him, or he shouldn't be grieved or missed. But this man, he was a son, he was a father, a partner, an uncle, a cousin. He was all those things, a brother. So I don't understand this deserving victim thing. But anyway, so yeah, this especially is the photo. Honestly, God, you have got a heart of stone if you cannot be moved by that photo. A father kissing the coffin and the two sons standing by. His brother, crying, his sister. I think it's such an emotive photo that honestly, I'm getting upset already. If you can't be moved by that photo, literally, I think there's something wrong with you. I don't know about John. And of course, the family were there with the photos of John, those boys, probably wondering what the hell's going on. That'll be his two boys and probably another boy from the family. Just, heart-rending pictures. Aren't they? So there you go. And here's a picture of John. It's been at some other wedding or something, a wedding that was going on or something, but a nice picture of him. But yeah, the photo that is the most emotive, I think, is this one. So I want to keep that photo in mind whenever you're thinking of the comments you're going to make, or the nasty. A few people have been nasty. Keep this photo in mind. Think, really, if that doesn't move you, to me, there's something wrong with you. Anyway, the other thing I just want to say is, so yeah, we're moving on to justice for John now. Whatever John was or wasn't, he wasn't a murderer, and he's been murdered. Now, I've got a message to the person who did it, who may be watching this. I don't know. I mean, they've not got much else to do because they're supposedly on the run. They've got arrest warrants out for them. So all I'd like to say is, look, if you don't want to come forward for the sake of the family, if you're not moved by those photos, then, for yourself, you should come forward. I mean, at the end of the day, aren't you in prison anyway at the moment? I mean, you can't move around freely. You're expecting to be arrested at any moment. You've got 3 arrest warrants out for you, national, European and international. You can't be walking free anyway. So wouldn't it be better to just sort of, put an end to this, go to court and see what your fate is? I mean, the thing is, as well, think about your soul. Now, you may not believe in things like that, but are you sure? I mean, are you absolutely sure? Because when it comes to the day when you'll be shuffling off this mortal coil, as all of us do eventually, will you feel like this is not going to be held against you? I mean, do you really believe that your immortal soul is not in peril in this moment after what you've done? And you can sort of at least alleviate it a little bit. You can do something by just coming forward, going forward. Take your chances with the Spanish justice system, because you are in prison anyway. And you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life, one way or another, because if you don't come forward, you're going to be on the run forever. I mean, it won't, it's not a good thing, is it? It's like you won't be able to live a free life anyway. So that would be my recommendation to you, even if you can't do it for this photo. If you can't do, if that's not moving you, do it for selfish reasons. Do it for yourself, because one way or another you are in prison anyway. So what and your immortal soul is in peril. So it's not even just about this life. If you're going to go on the run for the rest of this life, for the next, maybe you've got another 50 years or more, because you're quite young, aren't you? So is that what you're going to do? Be on the run for the next 50 years, afraid to go out the house, not knowing whenever someone's going to touch you on the shoulder and arrest you? Anyway, that would be what I would say to that person. And, my sort of thoughts go out to John's family, what they're grappling with. But they'll come back strong and fighting once they've got over, this, the what's the word that I'm looking for? After the funeral, it will have been a real sort of, everything was concentrated on getting John back, wasn't it? Because John went missing. For anyone who doesn't know, this man went missing in Alicante in Spain when he was on holiday, and he's turned up. He's been murdered. His family were over here in Spain looking for him. They were sent on wild goose chases. They've been through hell one way or another, this family, whatever you think. And, the whole focus was concentrated on finding John, getting him home. Anyway, John's gone home. He's been laid to rest in a respectful manner. And now his family have got to sort of get on with life, if you like. So up to now, their lives have been on hold. And now it'll all be about justice for John, won't it? Oh, one thing I did want to show you actually before I go. Where is it? Yeah, I mean, these basically are the photos that I've just showed you, but it's been, of course, in the Irish press. This is the Sunday World. So his family believe he was lured to Spain by people or someone he knew. So it's thought to be someone he knew that did this to him. The exact circumstances are unclear. There's been people appeared in court, but 2 men have appeared in court in Spain, in Torrevieja, but they're classed as witnesses rather than the person that actually did the murder. But, that's got to be sorted out in a court. But unfortunately, on Friday, one of the men who turned up to give his statement was evicted from the courtroom because he was drunk. So, yeah, this is where we are. John's been laid to rest. It's one thing that's his family had promised him, that they would take him home. His dad promised he would find him, take him home and bury him. in his where he belonged, and he has done that. But now it'll all be about justice, won't it? So the priest, Father Brian McCann, said that other people's presence there was a source of comfort and consolation to Mr. Georgie's family. He said the family were grateful for all the messages they've received and praised their community's practical, emotional and spiritual support. And what we are doing here today really is part of a great wave of reflection that has taken place over these last 6 weeks, the priest said. And he added, maybe one resolution that we can all make as we gather here today is to continue to pray every day for John's family. Well, I'll certainly do that. So after the service, the cortege moved on to Blaris Cemetery, Lisbon, where Mr. George was laid to rest. And a funeral notice described him as loving son, devoted father and beloved brother. So we move on to the next stage, which is finding justice for John. So I'll be praying for that, and it gives the family some comfort, at least when they know that the perpetrators have been held to account, at least in this world. But as I say, they want to watch out for what they're going to have to be held account for in the next world too. Okay, thank you for watching. Thanks for caring about John and his family. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. Bye.